Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One thing we're gonna do is brought to you by Dispose. This is a garbage company called Dispose LLC. It's a company that's doing great things. I want you to be able to go to my website, give us a call. You might find out I'll be one of the ones that's answering the phone, and it's gonna give you a great service. Service is one of the things that I concentrate on to make sure that we change the game because I don't see it no more. So find out by giving us a call and seeing what I can do for you. That's right. Now, I got to get back to the cast and crew of the people that's been rocking with me ever since I started this. Craft Medic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, Smooth Jay.
How are you?
Just, yeah, man. I'm
You're
doing
chipper
good.
again, but I like you. You're just so festive.
I'm doing good, man.
You make me nervous.
Life is,
You make me nervous, man.
Extremely unique for me right now.
I am so happy for you because next I got Buddha in the building, better known as 6ix9ine Snitch.
Right?
How you doing, big?
What's up with you, boss?
You know how it is, slow motion as always.
Yeah, you talk quick, that's all I got to say.
Slow motion, you know how
And
it
then in the very, very back, we got Barb from Macon, Georgia, holding it down.
Welcome, Barb.
Hey, big.
Welcome, Barb, in the house.
Thanks
very much.
Okay, and then we got our bartender, Hurricane. There ain't no telling what's gonna be our special for
Hurricane,
tonight.
what's happening?
Celebrating her birthday that just passed, another Scorpio in the building.
Yeah.
And we got a special guest. We're gonna bring that one on when we bring up the topic, and she gonna help us break it down on this topic that we got. So, gentlemen,
Okay.
it's gonna be on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, let's do a quick introduction of ourselves properly. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic, and this is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here to simply liberate your mind in an effort to help you become your greatest possibility. And what that really means is we're going to sit here and have a fantastic dialogue about a topic that hopefully is meaningful to you. We really want to talk about real world, real life subjects. And as you hear these topics and this discussion, we want you to kind of find yourself in the discussion and make some clear decision about your life. Better yourself through this dialogue rather than going through the hardship experience. Because there's a whole lot of experience here at the table, and right, wrong, or indifferent, you'll get the chance to see what is possible and be able to make the kind of decisions that you need to make for your life. And so we call this kind of therapeutic, even though we're having a lot of fun, and you see a few beers on the table,
That's right.
and a few drinks will be
Always.
passed around.
Always.
We just like to just have a great time
Always.
with simply wanting to be leaders in our own community and do what's best for people to just be their all. And so we thank you for being here with us tonight. Your participation in this show is everything because we're sitting here talking to ourselves without you. And so we want you to chime in wherever you can. We're all over the internet, and we'll share more about that shortly. But if you'll just stay tuned throughout the show, this is not a quick fix. This is something that takes literally an hour and a half to 2 hours so that the message gets a little deeper as we go throughout the show. And that's our hope, is that the dialogue gets richer as we get further into it. So stay with us throughout the show. We got great music lined up during the breaks. And we always start the night off with a prayer. So would you like to do it for us tonight, Jack?
Man, I like the one you said earlier. The world need to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Craftmatic changes things. All you gotta do is take the time to listen.
Yeah.
Give it to him, Craftmatic.
All right, man. I have no clue where this is going. I wrote one word on the paper here tonight,
That's all it takes.
and it's called power.
Mm.
Heavenly Father, we come into your presence with our heads bowed and our hearts humbled, just thanking you for who you are and thanking you for your grace and your mercy throughout our lives. We thank you for this show tonight, Lord, and we thank you, Father, for the spirit of your power in our lives. We thank you for all those little bitty anointings and those occasions and those situations and circumstances where we see your presence. Only you could have been there. And we thank you for the power of intelligence and the power of wisdom. We thank you, Father, for the power of right action and right understanding tonight. May it flow easily and effortlessly through all of our bodies and our minds. And may we be enriched by your spirit here tonight, Heavenly Father, with your power and your presence. We are all that can be had. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Oh my goodness.
Man,
I got a tip on that one. I mean, you ain't that so you delivered it so well. Can I explain to anybody?
was
Talking
gone.
to
I had about another good 15, 20 minutes.
I felt it.
You felt it?
I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it.
Yeah, ain't nothing like when you start talking about the all power, you know what I mean? You can't never get enough of that.
That's why we sit back and let you flow, baby.
Yeah, you can't never get enough of that all power. That
So
thing is just so special to
It's
be
just
a
that
part of.
one word.
One
That
word.
one word started off.
Yeah,
See that thought.
that thought.
That thought put you on the
Yeah.
path.
You know
that
what?
changed your way of thinking of what you wanted to say to what he has for you. 'Cause
Yes,
remember, all
yes.
of us are present.
Yes.
He speaks for you.
He speaks for you. He
Come
speaks
on,
through
man.
you. I did we're doing another program to go into the Smooth J Radio, and it's going to be so powerful. We're calling it Minecraft, and we're well underway with creating the show and this new aura of thought, so that it can help everybody really tackle life, give you some real tactical ways to manage and deal with life. And we were talking the other night about affirmations. And I asked the question, do you think when you do a prayer that you change God's mind?
No.
No. I don't think you change God's mind. Your prayer is designed to change your mind.
Right.
Your prayer is designed to align you with the mind of God that is within you. And when you do that, that's when the all inspiration comes through. That's when his power comes through. And
So too
so,
much, you starting to snitch.
yeah, man, I'm
Gotta
telling
wait
you.
for it to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Come on. They gotta wait for it. They gotta wait for it, Craig.
I'm gonna have to teach this for 100 times the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? People gonna always need it. So just poignant point, man. You gotta reach into the spirit, because all your answers are there, man. All your answers are there. Let's quickly cover last week's topic. I just finished talking about the Lord.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell I had anything that's gonna correspond. Figure this one out.
So
You're on your own.
last week's topic was simply hot sex.
Okay.
Do we need it?
Yep.
Why?
I like it.
How much
All the time.
can we do without it?
Nope. We answer that shit real quick, like just like on the show.
That's the whole show, folks.
If you didn't know, we just told you.
Yeah, that's the whole show. Here's what I came to throughout the week. I listened to the show, went back and listened to it, and at the end of the show, one of the things that I didn't say that I felt like is meaningful part of this discussion, because the discussion, I hope, is helping somebody, have more sex if they need to, or have less sex if they need to. You know what I mean? Sex is a real part of our lives, and sometimes it's destroying people, and sometimes people are holding back and not giving themselves enough into life.
You said less
and,
sex?
and so, yeah, potentially. There are people having sex for abstract reasons, right? There are people having sex because they think they can get their emotional fulfillment through sex, right? That's a sickness, right? And even though it's good and it's good for the moment, it doesn't satisfy the spirit. It'll only satisfy the flesh. And that's why we're spinning our wheels in life, is that we're putting our energy, we're pouring our energy into something that may not necessarily be good for us. And it's always just, it's just a good discussion to think about it and to contemplate it for a little bit. You know what's interesting about this table that I'm sitting at right now?
Because you talking to Buddha.
Like-
you know Buddha nasty.
Like
Buddha,
this the
Buddha
owner
like
of the show. This the owner of the show, right? And this his brother.
I mean, but he,
Hold on, please. And I fight every single week for righteousness in this room.
I gotta fight.
By my damn self.
Yep, because it ain't him.
I wanted somebody to
Now
tell
who
me
snitching?
last week
You.
that sex is really not a good thing in anybody's life, unless you're married.
Who said
I
that?
wanted y'all to agree with that. Y'all
Oh,
just
hell
wouldn't-
no. Nah, they wouldn't agree with that shit.
That's some bullshit, man.
I'm
Y'all-
sorry, dog.
Y'all-
I can't roll with that one.
Y'all-
I like doing it.
Y'all tainted, man.
I feel like, hey, without married, it's still good.
Gotta separate from y'all.
I'm still doing
Y'all
it.
get people in trouble.
I'm just trying to
You
tell
in the middle.
Listen, it was indeed a fantastic discussion, folks. I'm telling you, a lot of wisdom came out of the discussion, and we had a lot of fun with it. But we took something that is kind of a dangerous topic to talk about in media, because people usually get out of hand with the subject. But we did a real professional job, a lightweight kind of testament on the subject, our experiences, our opinions. And I think you're going to find that there's some meaningful stuff for you if you go back and take a look at it. We are all over the internet: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And Jay always like to put us in the Let Go.
Come on now. Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Back pages.
That sounds
Hey,
so
you know that
crazy.
everywhere. What you talking about?
But it's real.
Meet me. POF.
I'd like to know
Hey,
how
wherever
many,
they at, we gonna be.
I'd like to know how many people we get from those places. I mean, it's genius to put your message there.
I'm
It's
just
genius
trying to
put our
tell you, the
message
list
there.
is long.
That's what Jesus did. He
Yeah.
went everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And that's what we gotta do. We gotta put footwork in, baby.
Yeah, I like that, Jay.
And we doing it.
I like it, and we definitely doing it. So
Yeah,
check us
yeah.
out. Like us, share us, subscribe. Like us, share us, subscribe. I can't say that enough. Send us to your friends and family. I don't know anywhere that you're going to get real wholesome positivity and fun-loving discussion like we're having. This is not designed to hurt anybody. This is designed to help everybody and give you an opportunity to just look at yourself and see where you are in the equation. So continue to follow us, and we're here every Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live, and we'll continue to be here until the sun go down. And that's a few billion years, so we going hard in the paint,
That's
as
what
you
I'm
can see. Our quote for today, this was brought to us by Miss Barb, who always puts our agendas together for the evening. And sometimes she surprises me with some of the things that she has us to discuss.
She go deep.
But it keeps the show popping. So check this out. It goes like this, and this lends itself directly to our subject for tonight. A relationship isn't always 50-50. Someone will make more than the other. A successful relationship is two people who understand the concept and appreciate one another enough to not take the other for granted, but to work together as a team.
Oh, that sounds so nice. You know that shit don't work like that. Boy, that just sounds so nice. We're gonna have some fun tonight because we all.
It's a good concept.
The concept is
It
great
sounds teddy bear.
when you apply it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Yeah.
if you got knowledge and you don't execute it, you're not gonna get the wisdom.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm just trying to tell you right here.
Yes.
I like it. If you apply it correctly, this quote is very powerful and it's going to bring a lot of light to the show, but we're going to bring a little bit of dimness to it because I know it happens another way.
So watch this. So watch this. I think
Just a little.
the first statement of the quote says it all. And it says a relationship isn't always 50-50, right?
So it gives you a quick.
And listen, I love the way we discuss these subjects. It's kind of a sad reality, right? That you can't depend on, if you're going to have a loving person in your life, or one, ride or die,
Mhm.
you got to know out front it's not going to be 50-50. There's going to be some areas where you hold 80 to 90%, and there's going to be some areas perhaps where they hold 80 to 90%. The task at hand is to be able to work through it and find unity and trust one another. If you got the 90% portion, I can't be hounding you about the decisions you make because, maybe I have put us in that situation where you got to go and manage the money, or you got to build the credit, or I have put us in a situation where, you have to stay at home with the kids or whatever, whatever life brings. But it's not going to be 50-50. And it kind of hurts a little bit because I'm a share and share alike kind of cat, but it makes me realize that if I'm going to have a lady in my life, I'm going to have to go ahead and just hold the reins. And so I can do that as a man as long as I got a person who constantly reminds me that I'm not taken for granted.
Yes.
Like I'll pour in over and over and over and over. I'll give and I'll give and I'll give. But I need to know somewhere in the equation that I'm not being taken for granted, right? And that not being taken for granted, I think, is a greater idea than not being appreciated. I know that you appreciate that meal. I know that you appreciate it, but taken for granted is that you're not going to expect me to do it. Like you don't feel some entitlement. You don't feel like I owe you something because you're my wife or because you're my significant other, right? That I owe you a certain type of lifestyle or I owe you a certain type of this, that, and the other. Huh?
You put that fat rack.
Yeah.
That fat ring on there, and that big old rack.
And
listen, it's a big rack.
And we need
It's a high expectation.
We need to talk about that tonight. When that ring goes on, it seems like some things
Change, bro. Do
Yes.
what? Oh, Oh,
Yeah.
I'm talking about that little lady.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna get over there right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking nothing negative on marriage. I really like to. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna talk some shit tomorrow.
Listen, I had no idea the conversation was going to go there
Oh,
when
I
we
did.
started this subject, and I like the ring we put on that. When the ring goes on, we're going to name a segment when the ring goes on, because
It changed the tone.
it changes everything. I've seen numerous relationships all around me where things dramatically change.
I gave up that pimp game, took them rings off, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta let it go.
Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta be undercover, right? Because the rings are still upstairs in the jewelry box. You know what I'm saying? They can come out with the cape at
They
any
can.
moment.
I
you know
told
what I
you
mean?
you was just in reserve.
But they in the safe.
He in reserve.
They in safe.
He
Yeah.
in reserve.
You gotta let some stuff go.
He can always go back and get him. He in reserve.
Man,
Okay.
just because you have them,
So-
you gotta keep them.
Yeah. Listen, we are definitely gonna have a great show here tonight. We got a lot of really meaningful dialogue lined up for you, and we always go hard in the paint. We hope you are enjoying the program thus far. I think it's time that we go ahead and take our first break. That'll give us kind of an early start on the second segment of the show,
If you gonna do that,
where we're
I'll
gonna
tell the topic
where we're
again.
gonna really start going in the paint, huh?
You gotta tell them the topic again, because I got a special guest I got a millennial. I got somebody that's a little bit younger than us that can help us understand this, because again, I have my point of view.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about us.
Well, you know, I'm big on the woman's perspective, and
all right.
we don't have enough of it on
We
this
got
show.
some women in the building.
I know, but we don't hear from them. You know what I'm
Oh, we
saying?
gonna hear tonight?
We need to hear from them. Okay, that's
Oh,
what
you know they
I'm.
gonna
That's
talk
what I'm
tonight.
looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, it's gonna be a debate tonight, Joe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
You
real
know they
debate.
gonna talk
So
tonight.
you folks stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Come back with Bar Talk with Joe. Everybody be on tonight. We got some topics going on that's gonna change the game.
Yes, indeed, and well, our breaks are so fulfilling, aren't they? So unique. They are so unique. Why don't you introduce our guest, man, please?
No, let her introduce herself. Grab herself. Tell us who you are and how they can reach out to you in social media.
All right. Well, my name is Charlene. My mom is actually a really good friend of Jay's.
Die hard.
Well, she's a good person, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good.
Believe me, I got nothing but love for her. She got my back since I started this.
And I can be reached on Facebook at Charlene Armstrong, Instagram as cup_of_lean.
Okay, all this cup cup. All right. You ain't making it simple for a person, but it's all right. She don't want everybody to follow. You don't need everybody anyway, man. You're gonna have a lot tonight, because we're gonna find out what these younger people thinking.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear. It's been a little while since we get a woman's perspective. You know,
We got a couple
Hurricane
in there.
chimes in on us and lays some wisdom
gotta watch
on us every
Hurricane.
once in a while. But yeah, I'm really interested. So shall we go? Shall we go in, Jay?
Oh yeah, my whole thing is, what's your thoughts?
Let me
on
go
this
ahead and
topic?
introduce the topic officially for our audience tonight. For those of you who are just joining us for the second segment, we are talking tonight. Tonight's topic is: should a relationship be 50-50 financially? Should a relationship be 50-50 financially? And I want to break that down. I don't know if I need to break it down now, but the question in my mind is: should a relationship be 50-50? And should a relationship be 50-50 financially? Because 50-50 don't always mean money, right? Sometimes it means time, effort, money, and talent, whatever that might be. And I think we have to dissect it, and that's part of what I want to do in this show. But would love to hear from Miss Charlene. Tell me a little bit about what you think. Should a relationship be 50-50?
Financial? We're not on the financial part yet, right?
I'll let you answer the question. You
Well-
frame it.
Leaving the finance out of it, yes.
Okay.
You just talk about the support, the love, that part, yes.
Okay.
Financially, that's a little different.
Tell me about that.
Well, of course, we all know back in the day, our grandfathers, great-grandfathers, they took care of the home.
Mm-hmm.
However, the mom did not work.
Right.
The grandma, she didn't work, but he had to do nothing with the house. The kids, she took care of it all. He brought home the money, she took care of everything else. Nowadays, it's different. So, I know a lot of people feel like, oh, the man's supposed to pay for everything, the woman's supposed to keep her money or do the smaller things. However,
Mm-hmm.
she ain't cooking every day.
What?
She ain't cleaning all the time.
Nothing?
And she want him to pitch in.
Oh, hell no.
We got a problem at that
Come on,
point.
ain't no problem. We got a lack of relationship.
Exactly.
We got
So-
friendship. That's a friend. She come over on certain days. She don't got no key.
Yeah. And no pillow.
Because she would not be staying next to me.
And now, don't get me wrong. I've been in a relationship where
Mhm.
he paid like the mortgage, and I paid the bills, the light bill, our cell phone bills. But when it was bills, it wasn't just.
Right.
It was our cell phone bills,
Mhm.
the light bill, the car insurance. Like it was literally everything else. To where he paid a little bit more to me, but not by much.
Right.
But people don't live like that no more. Then you got a lot of households where the male may not be the one who makes the most financially anyway. So why would
Okay.
you want him to pay everything?
Okay.
Now, all the time it's not okay to split it down the middle because financially one person may not be able to keep up with that.
Maverick.
And if you got a big problem with that, why are you in that relationship anyway?
Now, see, that's one of the key points
That's the
that
key
I like
point.
to say that don't always come to the table. A lot of time people just assume, and I will say, people be flossing. So, and I say a lot of time guys will floss and they'll pull more money out their pocket than they probably really have. So it's gonna give you that feeling that, you know something, I'm gonna be more reserved because I don't have to, because he has everything. But then he's not always put all the way together. He probably flossed a little bit too much. So now I gotta be more honest.
He trying to get her.
Right, well, again, and it's a hunting game.
Right.
So don't get me wrong, everybody's tactics ain't gonna be the same, and I'm not saying everybody just throw money out there even though they don't really have it. Some people really have it and they throw it. I ain't mad at them, I'm trying to catch it. Don't hit the ground, I feel like it's coming from the heavens. Just saying. But a lot of people throw things, and that's up to them, that's totally their choice. But again, it can give a bad perception. So a person can look at that and be like, well, I don't need to do anything because he got everything.
Right. That's
And
a bad place to be.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, if anybody ever sits in that position, I'm telling you, you are showing yourself as unworthy
Mhm.
because you're making the other person feel like they're being taken for granted.
Right.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you, strong people still stay strong. Cause I ran into some people that be like, I can't match you dollar for dollar,
Right.
but I can cook, I can clean, and I have a good understanding of
Right.
this that I don't know if you know, and then they share their knowledge.
Right.
Okay, knowledge is just like money,
Right.
and especially when y'all working on the same goals.
Right.
So
Same
now
goals,
I'm not
yes.
always looking for a person that can match me dollar for dollar.
Right.
That's not going to even be easy. But if a person is a CEO and they make big money, then they might top me. My whole thing is I don't care if she top me or not. But can I drive her? Can she push me? Are we working together to make common goals? Because ours don't have to be the same, but can we work together?
Yes.
That's a conversation that a lot of time we flossing and we ain't having.
Absolutely.
Because again, we can stop flossing, we have a better understanding. It might not be worth us going down this path. Everybody ain't meant to be with everybody.
But listen, if you're in a relationship with somebody,
Mhm.
you know if they flossing or not.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Not in the beginning.
Not in the beginning, but
Right.
if you know their bank account, you know what
But
kind of money
through
they
time,
make.
you will see it. But the bottom line is,
And you
even
make-
by the time I see it, I'm still trying to find the character of a person.
Yeah.
You might
Right.
have did this. Are you still a genuinely good person, or you just do what you do to every damn body?
Right.
That's where the problem comes from. Because if I feel like you just
But we started on
flossing,
the line anyway.
huh?
If you flossed in the beginning to me, we started on the line.
Well,
You ain't got it.
you don't got it.
You
and,
lied.
and it's like a lie. But my whole thing is,
It's a lie. It's not a lie. It's a lie.
Hold on, no.
It's a lie.
Hold
It's a
on.
lie.
That's good. That's good.
It's
We
a
need to
lie.
talk about
yeah.
that.
Now my whole thing is,
Okay, hold
can
on.
you live up to that?
Hold on. One at a time. One at a time. See, this is one of those conversations that easily can get disintegrated because we don't focus, right? There's money talk when we in a relationship. I'm engaged, I'm married, I'm in the depths of the soul of this person. And then there's that early part of dating and getting into an early relationship, and we're not sharing finances, we just kind of go out all the time, and I typically pay for it and you don't know my money. So if we're talking about that part of it, that it may not be flossing if I try to do extra special things
Right.
to get you. And it might just be I'm being a nice guy. Now, just because you see I'm dressed fly, I might have a nice car that I paid for a few years ago, and all of that other stuff. but you might see it as flossing, right? See, I, for example, always live below my means. Why? So I can eat ice cream and steak when I want to. And so I might go out and buy $100 meals all the time, right? But it's because I've conserved on the other side. I'm still probably managing the same $3,000 budget everybody else is. And so it will look like I'm balling, right? I only eat fine foods. I eat great foods, but I like nice tastes. I'm going to take you to a nice place. But I'm not flossing. I'm not balling. Now, if you've never seen what real flossing is, you might consider it as flossing, right? And so now you start to mistake the equation like I got it, and you start not wanting to chip in when you can. You know what I'm saying? I just need you to go.
But I didn't
Listen.
chip, so wait.
Hold
You
on.
need to get me.
I'm just
You gotta
telling you what
keep
happens.
me.
What-
So if you paying for it in the beginning, and you're not saying anything, don't expect me to pay for it later on because you started that.
Now, see, that's some
You
bullshit.
started that. It's not. Because if that's the case in the beginning, you should have
Oh,
said
no,
that.
listen.
And you should
Listen.
have said that.
Listen.
Don't let me pull my wallet out at all
Hold on.
ever,
Hold
and then
on.
get mad later on when I don't.
Hold on. Now, if you got somebody who talk to you like, nah, baby, don't even sweat that shit. Just chill. Baby, Now, if I'm doing all that shit, that's great. You know what I mean? But if I just bought you a $100 meal and we pull up at the convenience store and you go get $15 worth of waters and drinks, go inside and pay for the shit. Don't be waiting on me. Don't be waiting on me to get out the car and go inside and buy your beverages for the night. That's what I'm talking about. That's when it starts to get out of hand. I showed you lots of love, and you wouldn't even show me a little bit of love.
It's just broke.
That's why I said that's some bullshit. You got to stand your ground regardless of what I do.
Oh, it's hot up in
Right?
here.
That's how a relationship. That's how a relationship is supposed to work. You know. And listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is. I thought about this when we were talking about our quote for today. Relationship isn't always 50-50. That I wrote down a couple of notes, and one of the notes I wrote down is that it's hard finding a team player.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you can find cute and you can find love, and you can find all this other shit, but it's hard finding a team player. And it seems like having a team player is the maximum potential in a relationship,
Yes.
right? I mean, you could maximize your life, your time, your whole life, your monies, your efforts, if you have a team player. If you don't have a team player, you got a leak. You know what I'm saying? You got a leak in the fabric of in the fiber of your whole life. Because that person is constantly pulling at where they should be participating, but no, they're taking liberties and taking you for granted and not appreciating it. And so after a while, your generosity just becomes, it gets in the way. It becomes, sometimes even targeted. I'll introduce the concert to you, hoping that you'll say, oh, well, let me just take her to the concert. You know what I'm saying? Rather than her going to get the damn concert tickets and saying, baby, look what I did for you. Right? And listen, I'm just of the notion I love fairness, man. I love fairness. And maybe that's just because I'm a Libra. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm a Scorpio.
fairness is my thing. That's
I'm a
me,
straight
right?
Scorpio.
I'm a
And so my number one quality, I'm going to say my millennium number one quality for a mate would be to be a team player.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it rings. I'm hoping it's ringing in everybody's ears who are listening to this show, because we got to stop searching for love in all the wrong places. We got to stop looking at her. She ain't gonna have the bubble, but it's gonna be nice. But she can manage the hell out of some checkbooks. You know what I'm saying? She know how to get them. She know how to get them credit cards popping with 0%. We got to start valuing more in people than just the appearance of things.
No, I totally
the surface
agree.
of things.
I totally agree.
And that's what I was hoping this show would get to.
We push for the eye candy. Don't get me wrong, I have it around me a lot. It's nothing new to me. But one of the things I can tell you, the difference between them and good, genuine people, is how other people respect you and treat you.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, people will
Yes.
use you all day long. I've been used half my life. And I can't say I've not used anybody.
It happens a lot.
But when I tell you about good, caring people, they do it from the heart. They can't even come back to me and say shit to me. Because one of the things they did it because they wanted to do it. And I do things because I want to do it. I ain't got to throw nothing up in nobody's face. It's not necessary. But I notice people do. And they do it because I did it because I wanted to get something from you. See? So now you had an expectation on your gift. That's not a gift.
Yeah.
You just did that
It's
so
not
you can
giving.
control. People love control.
Yeah.
People lead you to feed you, to lead you their way. That's just how it goes. My whole thing is watch where you're being led.
Right.
Because some people are genuine and they do things out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah.
And Lord knows half the people that you do it for don't take care of you. They don't pay you back. They leave your ass stranded. But guess what? I'm already been taken care of. I did it because, again, I know you needed it.
Right.
Now, my whole thing is get it back to
I
me,
did it.
but get yourself back strong.
Right.
And that makes me feel good about what I did. But not doing nothing only makes me feel like I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing to help you. I didn't really help you. I just took from me. Because you didn't do nothing that I gave to help you change your situation.
Yeah.
Because it's a mental thing. Because if you don't change your mental, I promise you, it's like behavior. You keep on doing the same behavior. And a lot of times you beg people for stuff, and it doesn't change your behavior because you get it. What make you change is when you got to hawk some of your stuff, and you got to live without stuff. You be like, you know something? I don't like what's going on, and I'm going to change my behavior.
Yeah.
Thinking it's going to
Yeah.
change because somebody gave it to you?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, shit don't happen.
Let me tell you what's coming to me right now, and this is just coming out the top of my dome. That and this might help somebody. That we talked about team players.
Mhm.
You know, we loving team
Yeah, I
players.
like that.
That for those of you who aren't team players, you're not invisible. We can see you. We can see you running game. We can see you leaving your wallet. We can see you making excuses about how you didn't help or didn't participate. We can see you lounging, you know what I'm saying, when, you know, hey, I've been cleaning up cleaning up the kitchen all week. You know, the one night you home, you don't want to help. So we can see you lounging on your laurels. And for those of us who are just givers, and I think there are more givers than takers in the world, way more givers than takers. Otherwise, this world wouldn't work at all. For those of us who are givers, we need to be mindful of those people who are trying to present themselves as team players, but they really aren't. Because that again is a part of our leak, right? And I was writing a segment for the other show the other night, and the title of the show, title of the segment was called "How to Get Rid of People You Really Love." Yeah,
I need to read that one.
yeah. I mean, we all know that it's the people who are closest to us that hurt us the most, and sometimes that hurt is, it's persistent. It's very taxing. It's nonsensical.
It's toxic sometimes.
Yeah, it's toxic, but our love for them causes us to stay there, causes us to keep putting up with it, and I think oftentimes we're not. And so it was a real interesting. I don't know where it came from. I guess the Lord was just inspiring me to write on that night. But we need to be mindful of those people who aren't team players. I think that's a good message to come out of this discussion, because there are people who just don't mean you good, and sometimes they happen to be in your camp for years, and then you wake up one day and realize the truth.
They can be related to you.
They can be related to you.
Half of me? What you talking about? We go ahead and call out some family members. Yo, this show right here, then we gonna call you out. You know you got some family members, you know good
You
and
know you got
well
some family members.
they ain't right.
They'll take you every
I don't
chance they
understand
get.
why we got the same blood to run through us.
They
We
got
fam.
They got a
Let 'em
We
great
go.
supposed
smile.
to be strong.
Yeah.
But yet you want to hate it. That's sad because it's a learned behavior. And I didn't learn it with you.
Yeah.
We played together, and all of a sudden we don't even share things together no more.
Yeah.
I mean, we started out strong,
Yeah.
and then we ended. Mine changes through time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. I get it,
Yeah.
but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like we can change some of that. Because you got to get back to people that was there when it was genuine.
Yeah.
When you was young, it's more genuine.
Yeah.
The things you did then, it was, I would like to say young and dumb,
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
but it was just genuine.
Yeah.
Now it's driven. Money drives you differently. Everybody has different motivation.
Yeah.
But when it drives you to not caring for a person that was there for you, because I'm so motivated, I don't give a
Oh
damn.
man, listen, Jay.
It gets sad.
You're right on
and
the
it's
money.
just true.
You're right
That's
on the
where
money.
that 50-50 ain't gonna be 50.
And listen, I always like to try to explain the dialogue before I dialogue it, but I'm attempting right now to just create a nuclear explosion in the dynamics of this discussion. Finding out who your team players are is not just about a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's about not about an interpersonal relationship. It's about every relationship in your life, from your business partner to how your doctor treats you to
Right.
every relationship. That if they're not on your team, you need to be mindful of that, because if they're not on your team, they probably running game.
Mm.
And there's 1,000 different ways to run one game.
Yes.
So just wake up to that. It's interesting. We talking about how to manage money in a relationship, and one of the key components of it is, well, do I really have somebody who's got my back? Do I really have somebody who's on my team? Because if I really got somebody who's on my team, what was 50-50 might go to 70-30. I'll put in more if I know they're really on my
got
team. But if I know they're really not on my team, how many more years am I going to spin my wheels in this relationship?
Very little. Because you got to realize,
Right? That's the question you
your
have to ask
time
yourself.
is not forever, and you don't really know it.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is to evaluate.
Yeah.
And we have to get back and evaluate some of the people that surround you, because genuine people, it's not like they gotta always do stuff for you. That's not true.
No, that's not true. The
I
heart's
like
got
to
to
say,
the heart's
is
got to
watch
be
how
in
they
it.
do it.
Yeah.
It's how they do it.
It's how they do it.
How they speak to you. Respect,
Yeah.
love you, show
Yeah.
care,
Yeah.
and know that you know something when you down. I'm gonna try to give you words of encouragement, because again, I might not be able to run to you.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I still care for you.
Yeah.
Care is one of the things that I don't
Yeah.
hear no more.
Yeah. You know what? Oh man, this is so powerful. We got to go to break, but this is so powerful. I'm thinking about a time when I was down on my luck, and my best friend took me in. He and his wife and his children. We known each other for many years, so it was like my brother.
Right.
And so he took me in, and over and over and over, I remember saying things to them and saying things around them to bring myself low. And what I really wanted them to do, man, is just, I always wanted to say, hey, man, y'all just don't understand how grateful I am to just come home to a peaceful household, somewhere clean, somewhere that ain't got nonsense going on, man. I'm just so grateful. And I said it over and over. I think they got tired of it.
Mhm.
But every single time my heart was in it, like, man, I really want you to know that what you're doing for me is important. It's me. I'm cutting grass. I'm cleaning the garage. I'm washing down the window sills. I'm cleaning the cars on the weekend. I'm doing everything with no permission. I just go grab the keys and go do
Come
it.
stay with me.
Right.
Absolutely. Stay with me, bro.
Absolutely.
In my house needs to clean.
Yeah.
You done saved me a shitload of money.
Yeah.
You better than Geico. I'm just saying.
The thing is, man, is that I value my relationship so much. I never want a single thought, a single innuendo in anyone's mind that I was trying to get over on the system, or take advantage, or be the one to get over on the system. I don't have my father was that way. You know what I mean? That's I guess that's why I was raised that way. He was full of integrity, and he was full of givingness, to the point that if he was the one that was down, he always wanted that person to know that he cared. He always poured in to show that I cared. If it's nothing else but bring you a snack and a little piece of candy every once in a while, like I was thinking about you today, that just says that you care. And so, we can't make that point enough, and really more profound than we have right now. It is time for us to take another break. We're doing fantastic on time. I think our show is just dynamic. I just really have not heard this type of dialogue anywhere, not in any format, any media. Maybe I'm just not listening to enough stuff or the wrong stuff, but this is powerful, and I thank y'all for this dialogue. I hope you folks are enjoying it. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right, welcome back. Report Talk with Jay, man. I'm about to tell y'all it's about to be hot in the building tonight. My man Crab want to change it all up and talk about another segment. You really want to go with the ring, bro? You really want to do that?
I think the ring is, because the ring might take a little while to get through,
I mean, but I ain't scared.
So, folks, for those of you who are just joining us for this segment tonight, we are talking about, should a relationship be 50-50 financially, or should a relationship be 50-50?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll let you fill in the blanks. because we all got different needs, and those needs are valued. And some needs are valued at 10, and others are valued at 2 or 3. And so, we got to find a way to put this puzzle together in this relationship. And we came across, during our discussions, just know none of this is planned. We really go in on a live show. We try to make it as spontaneous as possible.
Yes.
And a couple of segments ago, we stumbled upon the idea of how money should work, or how money works in relationships once you decide to get married. And so we decided that we wanted to come back to it because we think it's a major topic, and hopefully it'll help somebody.
I don't know who.
Well, it's going to help anybody who wants to find love. Let's put it that way. Every single person who's seeking to have love in their life should be uplifted by this discussion, right? So what happens when the ring goes on, Jay?
Well,
What should happen?
I'm gonna go back and say this because a lot of times people gonna like run with what I say.
Okay.
In my own personal opinion,
Okay.
when the ring goes on, an expectation greater than what I might perceive happens immediately.
Expectations.
Okay.
I love it, boy.
So, and again, I know I'm gonna get hit with this back and forth, but my whole thing is this: is I have to make sure I have an understanding of her fantasy of what she really wants as well, to make sure we're in alignment. Because a lot of times we're out of alignment and you just do things because you want to make a person happy. Now, see, to me, that's when you're playing the fool. And that's when you start to go out there and do things that other than what you're really capable of doing.
Yeah.
Now,
other
at
than
that
what you
point,
really wanted.
at that point,
Yeah.
you got to hold yourself accountable, period. Just like the ring. The ring should be a symbol of what you feel that you want to give her, and it should be a token of you. That means your love for what you want to have long term. If that means that I don't want to have a real expensive ring, I want something that's special, that has meaning to me, then that's what I should be able to give. Not a person telling me I make over 100-something thousand, it should be a $10,000 ring. Don't tell me what it should be because of what I earn. I did that way before I met you. Don't play with me and tell me what the expectation is. When you can't, you don't know. Okay, I'll tell you, I've been there. Don't tell me what I need to do when I've been there.
Hold on. Let me hear this is what I think I hear you saying, right? Regardless of what you want, you will receive the love that I give you, or else.
It's not even or
Is
else.
that what I'm hearing, Jay?
Yeah.
If I want to give you, if I want to give you a 1/3 carat ring, then that's the ring I want for you. I don't want to get you no 3 carat ring. I might be able to afford it, but that ain't your business.
Hold on. No, somebody said it's supposed to be so much of what you make.
I've heard
Hold on,
that.
I heard a lot of different
I've
things.
heard it's
But
supposed to
when
be
it comes from
10%
me,
of what you
it
make.
should come from my heart and what I feel. It should be what I want. And then it should align with what you feel. So even if it was low, listen, I upgraded rings all the time.
All the time, absolutely.
So it might not have started as large because I'm going to make more.
Right.
But all of a sudden somebody puts in your head what it should be. You need to be financially stable to do that. Everybody's not there. So why in the hell are you listening to somebody and you're not? So now you live in a fad because I'm here and I'm doing these things, but I got a lot of financial debt. I got a lot of student loans. I got a lot of other things. That
It's not what you proposing anyway.
Hold on. Well, you mean you
Well, listen,
propose
You
this.
said all that. What you proposing?
Hold on.
Well, listen, love ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Love ain't got nothing to do with that. You can love me when I'm broke.
Thank you.
Let's work together and build something.
You feel
See,
like
you
you're not
start.
No.
I'm
You
just
feel
going
like
with-
you're not stable
Hold
financially.
on. If
So-
I make over $100,000 a year and I got
So what?
20, 30 something $1,000 worth of debt and the rest, it's something that's very manageable. My whole thing is this: is you look at the top number, you ain't understanding the rest of the numbers. Because again, some people just go in on what they want. My whole thing is if you're really looking at marriage and you're looking for a long-term relationship, it's not just the upfront. It is what he's pouring in to make you even feel like putting the ring on. Why in the hell it got to be so important and it be so big and it got to be so expensive?
That's a selfish
When
thing.
you don't understand that when he gives all this, he has nothing else to
Yes,
give.
And listen,
So I'm going
and-
further
and
back
so-
than forward.
The thing is, it also depends on the person. Because as a woman, we should know it. First of all, you should know me well enough to know if I feel that way, why are you with me anyway?
I'm not.
Because
After that moment. Shit, I'm not.
You done bought it. So you bought me me a ring, and if I'm that ungrateful, you should have caught those signs well before you tried to propose.
It's okay.
So for me, you bought me a ring, and if this is truly, like seriously, truly, what you feel like I should have, then I'm okay. Now, if you decided to lowball me, and I know you decided to lowball me because you're being cheap,
Right. Yeah,
or
cheap
frugal as they try to call
That
it,
ain't frugal. That's
that's
cheap.
where we have an issue.
Right.
That's the difference.
And
But if she's
like
that shallow, you shouldn't be proposing to her with her in the first place.
Now, my
Right.
whole thing is that's where a lot of stuff need to come to the
But
table
so-
because
yeah.
everybody's not willing to come to the table with the ring.
Listen, and I would imagine
And I like it.
a lot of that stuff that should come out before you give the ring. But if it doesn't, and you happen to give her a ring and you can see her dissatisfaction with the ring,
Leave her right there.
Yeah.
Leave her where she at.
that's what I'm talking
Leave her
about.
where she at.
That's
Where
right.
she at.
I tell you what, right then and there, it's gonna
Deserve
be.
it or you.
Yeah,
Leave her where
because-
she at.
Because at that moment right there, she ain't liking you anyway. It's
Exactly.
easy to want. You be like, give it back.
Because it's about money at that point.
Right.
I like
And
it.
that's not okay.
And one of the things I also
I
want
like
to say
that.
is a lot of times people don't realize there's a lot of things being given away before the ring ever came about.
Right.
All right? Now,
Right.
this is one of the things I really want you to get back to realize the person that you're trying to marry.
Right.
If he really about you, you should be seeing things that he's pouring into your kids, into your life, into your family.
Right.
If he ain't pouring nothing in,
Right.
and all you looking for is that's just your own selfish
Yeah,
ass.
and if you are measuring the pour in, exclude finances.
Right.
It
Look
shouldn't
at
be.
that picture.
Because
Right.
again, I can pour in by being there for your kids,
Right.
by talking to them, making sure everything is going, getting along with your family. Because again, I am binding mine with yours.
Yeah.
These are huge compared to just that one episode of a ring. That right there is, I promise you, I understand it's special. I get that. What's really special is when we bring these families together, because now we're a solid unit, and this is what's not happening. Because now I'm hearing F the family, they're eloping. People are doing things totally different than tradition. All right,
Because they want to hear all that nonsense.
they don't.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is when you totally exclude the people that took care of you and loved you, that's why we got to change the game, and we got a difference of the guards right now today. And that's why I said when we look at why everything is so different, we've changed so much.
I somewhat disagree.
Go ahead.
Sometimes you have to exclude your family.
Yes.
Because sometimes
Yes.
those toxic family members are
Right.
not genuinely
And-
happy for
and I
you.
agree.
Right. You can feel like they might be, but
Right.
sometimes you have to exclude them. Sometimes
I
I
agree.
need to know that we are where we need to be at before I put my family in here.
Yes.
Because we have to be solid first, because if not, my family can come in and say or do anything, and now one of us going either way.
And listen,
So that's not okay.
the families will
Now
tear
I
you
will
down
only say,
if
and
they
I
can.
tell you
Yeah,
all
so
day long.
sometimes I have to.
that
It just gotta be
you
me and
have
you.
to, but you have to know you and your family. So please,
And
one
I
thing
gotta
I
know
will
my
tell you
partner.
Yeah.
is know
Yeah.
your people though.
Yeah.
Because I won't say turn against anybody. Because one of the things I will say is, because again, I don't ever want to get nobody confused. Because what happens a lot of the time, everybody gets into their feelings,
Yeah.
into their self, and then you forget. Because again, I hear people say all the time, my family this. A lot of times they're doing more for your ass than you give them credit for. So I don't want to hear about they ain't for me just because they don't agree with you.
Right.
That could be your own selfishness, and now you're excluding them, and now you're doing things that's totally against. My whole thing is make sure you're grounded on
That's
where you at,
powerful. That-
because
listen,
I'm not hearing it all the
that's
time.
powerful.
But I
That-
feel it on the back
Yeah,
end.
watch it. That's
So when
real.
your marriage failed, they sitting there knowing it was just because they know you
Yeah.
better than you thought you knew.
Yeah, it's-
because everybody don't know
It's
themselves.
interesting to look
Just tell me.
into your mate's family and their relationship with their family, and you see the whole picture. They can't quite see it, but you see the whole picture, and sometimes relationships run up into friction in their households because of the relationships with the families. There's a lot of friction sometimes.
Your family also can't adapt.
Don't you know your cousin is taking advantage of you, right?
But
Don't
you also have to think about it like you said. If I'm your mate and I care for you,
Mhm.
and I see that the same family member calls you over and over and over again for something, yet they never reciprocate, or if you need, not reciprocate because you expect them to,
Right.
however, you could come in need and they ain't never there for you. Then yes, as your mate, I have a problem with this because I feel like this family member is using you. So
Absolutely.
that may cause a wedge.
Absolutely.
Another big problem with families is when I'm mad at my mate and I tell my mom, my sister, my brother about it, they have to understand that I'm venting. That's it.
Yeah, and
So you
vent
can't
to
be
them, though.
mad for me.
Yeah.
So when I'm over it, you need to be over.
Yeah, but you can't
But
tell
they
them.
ain't.
They're not going to be.
Exactly, which is why sometimes you have to exclude your family because they will take in those feelings and everything you told them. Now they're at Thanksgiving like this, looking at your
No,
man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, no, we all getting in the car.
Yeah.
We gonna ride
I'm
on
over
this.
why you ain't
We
over.
straight ghetto stuff up in here,
Listen,
girl. We
yeah,
ride.
You cannot tell. You cannot divulge information because they're not gonna get it over as fast as you. They didn't get that good love session that you got that night, or you know what I'm saying. They didn't get flowers. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes you want to vent to your family and not your friends. I should be able to call my mom
You should
or my
be.
brother. I should be able to call
But
and
you-
have that conversation and be mad in that
But you
moment.
can't.
And we both let it go.
But
But you
listen,
know I'm just mad.
I'm telling you, you
Call
need to
Bar
call.
Talk with Jay.
No, this is what you call. You. There's a new employee showed up at work. And y'all hit it off in the break room. Call them and tell them your whole story.
No,
I
because
promise
then
you.
the whole job gonna know your whole story. That ain't gonna work.
Well, you know what I mean? In perspective. You don't want to tell family.
No,
for damn
now the
sure,
whole
you know what I'm
job
saying?
gonna know your whole
You
story.
call Bar Talk with
That's
Jay.
another
Jay got
lesson. That's another lesson that don't
All
tell
right,
nobody.
man.
Bid it to the Lord and He'll fix it. Hey, listen. I knew Ring Goes On was gonna take a little bit longer because we didn't really get into the dynamics of how young families and young married couples manage money. And there's a lot of struggle that happens early in the game in those relationships. And I want to spend some time on that. It's about time for us to take a break. You have a comment?
Well, when we get into that, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between then and now, a lot of times people went from their parents' home to their mate's home, and that's when they got together. Nowadays, they do a lot of things early. So, because they do them so early, people get married, they know they should, before it even comes.
Mm-hmm.
But I love you, so we gonna get married. Or she pressured you, so now you married, and because you don't want to lose her, or you just don't want them with somebody else.
And see, I tell you what comes to my mind. Listen, this is something that just blows my mind. It seems, and we've had hundreds of discussions in the studio about it, that love is not enough.
It's not. It is not.
I mean, God, that kind of hurts inside. You know what I'm saying?
Just a little.
It's real. It's real.
not.
You know,
It
that's the
hurts.
difference
I can love you
between
and
heaven
hate
and
you at
earth.
the same
You know?
time.
That
Love
was
is not
emotion.
enough.
Hey, let's take a break. Let's rest on that for a minute. Let's take a break. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. We hope you're enjoying the show. And I think we're going in hard. Y'all stay tuned.
Bar Talk with Jay, man. We got a high topic going on tonight.
Yes, this is a good one, man. I wasn't expecting this this quality of dialogue out of the
I brought a
subject.
special guest to make sure this
Yeah,
just the way it
put it
did.
in. Charlene getting it on for us tonight.
Waving a couple $2 at me.
I'm just
talking
loving
about
it.
I'm shaking to make it. I'm like, really? Really? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, $2 don't really do nothing, but it sure was tempted. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to see if I can still shake the rope. I'm like, you know, I gave up when it turned 50, but I'm just saying.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
be in a wheelchair still chasing, boy. I'm just saying.
Right.
Put it back, them came back.
What? Still trying to chase that.
All right, folks. And so we are talking tonight about should a relationship be 50-50? Should a relationship be 50-50 financially? And the last segment we started talking about when the ring goes on. And what should happen in a relationship when the ring goes on? Well, let's talk about what should happen financially. There's a lot of things that should happen, but financially, how should two people come together?
I'm gonna be honest. For my generation, a lot of things that should happen on the ring go on is already happened before it got there. We done already showed each other that it's already happening.
Backing it up.
It's already there.
Tearing it
Like we
up.
already living together. We already doing our finances. We already done coexisting. We already doing it. So it's nothing should change because we're already there. Something small may change, but you put the ring on because we already doing what needs to get done.
Okay, I love that. I love that, and
That's
I know
a
it
great
ain't the most wholesome and righteous way to look at it,
It sure
because
ain't.
you know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, we done broke all the rules, and then we decided to get married, right? And the reason that we don't get married is because we broke all the damn rules.
Ain't break no rules.
No,
You did what was expected.
so yeah,
That would.
So it's already happened, and so as that relationship is starting to unwind, unfold, what is happening? You know, how are you deciding on who pays for what, or who makes the most money and who can do what. Well, how does that relationship
To
work?
me, it goes back to what he said, teamwork. Yes, it can be discussed. Some people need you to write it out. However, when you have a truly supportive partner, we don't have to write out who's going to do what.
Right.
It comes natural.
Yeah.
So you know that, okay, cool. I make the most. I'm going to do this. And you're just going to pick up and fill in the blanks. It should be okay to be that team player. You know what? You normally cook. You look a little tired today. I got it. You know what? It shouldn't have to be, oh, you know what? I'm going to pay this. You going to pay this. We're going to split this down the light bill, $100. Give me $50. Why do we have to do all that? The light bill is this. I got it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pay it. Same on both ends. Some people need you to spell it out. Some people don't. A real team player should not need you to physically spell out every aspect of everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
And some people do look for that.
So-
And my whole thing is not to confuse. Some people want that certainty. They strive for it. That's what they want. And that's why you got to choose your partner wisely. And again, some people gonna frown on me and they be like, yo, one at a time. When you're dating, date to understand what you're dating. Okay? A lot of people like, you just date one at a time, you spend all that time. My whole thing is, I date and I have fun with a lot of different people because I touch people, but the bottom line is I'm enjoying myself to realize what other people have to offer.
Date with a purpose.
And when I say date with purpose, I will tell you, when I'm into dating for a relationship, it's for a purpose. But when I date, my whole thing is to find out more about people and realize that I'm not for everyone. And everybody's not for me. Okay? This is straight up. But I'm going to bring goodness because that's what the good Lord put in me. I'm not treating you less than. I don't have to never make a woman feel less than because she's not my wife. I'm going to treat you like a queen because you're a woman that I respect and admire. I look at you in mirror of the fact I cannot be you, but I respect you and I want to care for you, period.
Okay.
Now, that right
If more
there,
men thought like that, we wouldn't have
Well,
some people like that.
and that's the problem with today. Is why do we have this problem? The respect level changes, and
You
then
know
some
what?
people have
Well,
expectations.
here's the
of how they
caveat.
want.
Here's the caveat.
Unreasonable expectations as well.
Here's the caveat. You were saying it earlier. Your exact words were, if you have a truly supportive partner, right?
You gotta know what supportive is. Supportive is not, oh, I bought you a meal or I bought you something. Supportive is, you know that I got you, regardless. It doesn't always have to be financial. You know that I have your back. You know that I'm gonna push you to do more. He said it earlier.
Yeah, we don't like
when
that.
you're down, I'm gonna uplift
Thank
you.
you.
If something is wrong, I can help you pick up the pieces. I don't feel like, oh, I'm not raising you like your mama did. Like, no, I know that I can speak that into you because some people need that. Naturally, we all need somebody to uplift us and say things to us that people may feel like, why I gotta say all that? You never know what a person has going on here. So you have to support them in a way that it may feel like, you're like a kid, but oh well. If you want to be with them and you care about them the way you say you do, you're going to uplift them and support them and keep them pushing forward.
And listen, that's just fabulous. Just put a stamp on that. That's like a drop the mic, right? Let's talk about what happens when that starts to go south, or when I start to feel like I need to change the scenario a little bit. What kind of things do people experience?
It changed. You
Go
know
ahead.
what I am?
Go ahead. Ooh, she's saying, hold on, wait a minute. I want to get.
Okay, so
What you got?
when it starts going south, everybody wants, well, that's your partner. If y'all have a issue, like to throw it back up in your face, like I did this for you,
Yes,
I was
right.
there for you, I was doing this for you, and then it gets repetitive over and over again, and then the relationship start to go dead. Like,
No, it's dead.
right, because why are you throwing something up in my face
Because they
over and over again?
It's
tell
a
you.
relationship.
Right.
If you got to repeat that you did it for me, I don't want you to do
I'm
it.
gonna tell you right now. That right there is a negative even to me.
Right.
One of the things I gotta say, if I have to remind you of what I did, then there was an intention behind why I did it. If I did it because I was supporting the team, I shouldn't have to explain that. I shouldn't, but
You're exactly
I'm
right.
always fighting to explain because of something somebody feels a certain way. If you come at me that way, guess what? I'm not gonna explain. I'm gonna push away.
Wash
I
your
don't.
hands.
Right.
Why
you
would I
shouldn't
want
have
to
to
stay?
throw up in my face what you did for me. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are not genuine even in receiving.
Right.
So
There we go.
sometimes you have to take the higher road. You don't have to throw in their face what you did for them because they came at you wrong. You wash your hands of that person and you move on.
There you go.
Period.
Yeah.
But nobody should have to bring up what you did for me.
My whole thing.
Relationship or not, don't listen.
This
We
is
both
a-
know you did it. Don't bring it back up. I'm good.
This is a side note.
You
This-
bitch. You bitch.
Listen, this is kind of a side note in the discussion that if we lived in a black and white world, we constantly be throwing people away. You know, nobody's going to meet that mark. You know, at some point you're going to have to find some. You know, the love is going to have to become more of the patience, or the love is going to have to become more of the understanding, or the love is going to have to be more of the taking time to teach, or the love is going to have to be saying, hey, you know what, it is what it is, let me just take control of this shit because he ain't going to get it done. I'm just going to do this part of it. He does great over there, but, you know, and so, you know, it's easy to just say, I'm going to throw people out, but if you're in a relationship, you can't just do that. You're going to see some things, that you're going to, listen, invariably, there's going to be some boxes unchecked. There's always going to be 2, 3, 4 boxes unchecked. And it's not just the fact that they're unchecked. Those boxes are very meaningful to you.
Okay.
But there's some other boxes that you check that you probably couldn't get anywhere else in the world. And you feel the love, you feel the expression, you feel the
You never know
goodness
what's
from his
more important to
family.
you.
Absolutely. Got to decide what is more
So
important.
you have to know you.
Yes.
You have
When
to
you know you, it makes you move differently. I promise you, when you live for somebody else,
Yeah.
I promise you, you'll put up with more shit than you should ever have.
Right.
My whole thing is be filled with the good Lord. Understand your spirituality. And it helps you a lot because people will try you.
Yeah.
And then you will understand, is they trying you to better you? Because again, sometimes people come at you and it's not to really hurt you, but they coming real. And it's hurtful because I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
So you have to humble yourself and say, okay, can I bite this and realize what they say? Because me and Phil, we battle with each other all the time. And again, as my younger brother here that don't see things like I do, Buddha is so different. It's hard to reach somebody that has another spirituality than you. So as we battle each other, it's a respectful level. I have to hear each other because we see things so differently. But yet we can still understand each other. But I have to take time to understand
You
him.
gotta understand that everybody's opinion is not gonna be the same.
No,
You have
it's not.
to agree to disagree sometimes.
Well, that's the beautiful thing
Especially-
about that
Listen,
arrangement.
yeah.
That's why it's not an argument.
Especially in these 50-50 type relationships.
Right.
Like
Any
discussions.
relationship.
Any relationship.
Any relationship.
That's exactly right.
Any.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
to
right.
balance
Let me just share a story, and I'm not sure if it's on the topic quite exactly, but just so that we get some more of this good ring goes on dialogue. When I was married as a young man, you know, I had a degree, went and got a nice job, you know, making about 50 grand a year back in the 90s, and when I got married, my wife, we decided that she was going to become, you know, a homemaker and take care of our family. So we started having kids, and I started a business and started making good money. And long story short, is I would bring my paycheck home and hand it to my wife. And I always knew how much I gave her. You know, it was never a question. And I really never questioned how she spent it, where she spent it. I just had implicit trust of her, and not just because of how that I knew she was a good money manager, but she showed me many other things to show that I could trust in her. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that many of the bills that she had acquired before we got married were getting double pays. And, you know, during the hard times, our household cash flow was a little challenged. And I never seemed to understand until one day, and it took me years to do it. I almost felt like it was a mistrust type scenario for me to even go into the account, which I could at any time, and just start calculating and trying to find some bullshit. Because if you look for some bullshit, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Just about every time, right? Now, sometimes there's some bullshit right there in your face, and you know you need to open your eyes.
You're in love.
Yeah. Because you're in love. But I discovered that there was money going in several places, and what really I think started to change the relationship financially was that you know, after 6 or 7 years of being a house mom, she wanted to do something, and so she was definitely capable of working and going out and making good money. So she went out and got her part-time job. Well, her checks became hers. And she began to just deposit her checks, and that was her money. And, you know, that money would never get touched by the family, so to speak. And I had a hard time with that. I never really even brought it to her attention. I just paid attention to it. I just recognized it, but I changed the way I manage money. Now I start putting those checks in my account. And I satisfied the joint account with what the family needed, right? And in many cases, I had tens of thousands of dollars sitting in my other account. And I never, you know, I don't buy anything, really. I don't shop, I don't do all that, just buy great meals, right? But I might spend, you know, $70, $80 a day on food.
I wish I did that back then.
So the point of the matter is
You
that
eat some good stuff.
yeah, I wanted to just bring up the fact that when things start to change, you have to recognize them and you have to start to change with them. If you're being taken advantage of, there's money disappearing, or people aren't using the money responsibly, and they want to go out and spend money on $300 every weekend at the mall and shopping, and then worry about how we pay light bill 3 weeks from now. Wait a minute, you spent $600-700 bullshitting earlier, and now you want to talk about what's wrong with the light bill. That's when you got to start changing. The bottom line is that if you continue to do what you've been doing, you'll continue to get the same result. And you have a leak right there. There is a partner who is not a truly supportive partner anymore. And once you make that decision, again, the talk I was trying to create was, how do you get rid of someone that you love? You got to make some hard decisions, and those decisions can linger for long periods of time if you're not decisive. And they can drain your battery, right? Big time, right? We talked one show about how we show love to people, and oftentimes when you're mad with your significant other, or disagreement, or challenging, you show less affection. So now, I wanted to take her to dinner, but I don't take her to dinner. I wanted to, upgrade that ring for her anniversary, but you know what? We tripping. I ain't gonna do the ring, and so, This is a very, very dynamic discussion.
It is.
My mind is all over the place.
And I'm gonna jump
right
in. I'm gonna jump in on you because again, you gave yourself. I gotta give mine. I can't do you like
Can you hold that thought? Okay. I mean, okay. Listen, it's 8:22. We right on the money for a break. Unless you want to take a minute, I want to hear this. I want to break.
I can hold this for a long time.
You can hold it. I want to hear it.
21 man. Okay. I got a lot of years on this one.
Okay.
I got this one.
Okay. All right. We're gonna keep going when Ring goes on when we get back. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay right after this. Yes, you did.
And again, one of the things I want to do is make sure you understand it's not just our opinions. It's about bringing your thoughts to the table.
Right.
Because we pour it out for better understanding. It's not to taunt you, play with you. It's to better enhance you to make better decisions. Because that's the thing that God gave you that we take for granted.
Absolutely.
So let's take the time to really dissect this. One of the things I want to say is in my marriage. One of the things that a lot of times people don't do is reflect back to your own mistakes.
Yes.
I made more money than my wife. And when she started making money, she was making very little money. Fast food, she did some of the different things. And I had us. It wasn't no biggie to me. But I knew she had more in her. So I pushed her into management. So she got into management, she did that. And of course, we did a little bit better because she started making some money. Then she said, I want to quit, and I just want to get my real estate license, and I want to do something else. And the whole thing is like, whatever you want to do, girl, whatever, I got you, do you. I can't trip, but I can tell you she spent up a lot of my money, and I can't say nothing because I wasn't there. I already was making 80-something thousand. And I still went and took on a bouncing job. I made $500 to $600 a weekend on that one alone.
More than that.
I was trying to not tell all my business.
Yes.
But again, I made enough money doing that side job to start my business, my own money.
Right.
I didn't go to no bank. I started my own off of working a side job.
Right.
Doing all this, later on I realized I gave up a lot of stuff because I didn't give her time. He called it extortion. I really feel like, it go hand in hand when you start getting into yourself. I got more into the money because I wasn't happy with all the stuff that was going on. And what she felt like was, something, shit, you act like your ass ain't happy. I ain't got a problem spending your money, but she didn't spend on somebody else. She spent on my kids. I wanted to rob them.
Yeah.
My kids had every fly thing, shoes and everything. She would go, my son's birthday, she buy for both. Who the hell does that? I see gifts for both of them. I'm like, it was only one birthday. They ain't twins.
Right.
She was like, but I ain't want the other one to feel a certain way. I was like, well, I'm feeling a certain type of way. How much this cost? She's like, what you worried about? So I had to go back and look at the account.
And did you feel guilty because you didn't give her time?
Hell no, at that time I was just mad because you overspending.
After the fact, are you feeling guilty because you didn't give her
Nah,
time?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Now I feel like, I was just being egotistical at that time. And I should have been more caring and being like, hey, you know something? I need to do more with her. I felt like I was making enough money. She better roll with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't touch this.
Yeah.
Whatever you make, you can't come near me.
Right.
You ain't gonna add up to me. You ain't gonna beat me.
Right.
That attitude is what helped her get the hell away from me.
Okay.
And that's not how I started.
Right.
I promise you, I was not that dude when I started. That's why she rocked with me. She knew in high school I was gonna do something.
What changed, Jay?
Me. I got out in the workforce and I found out I had to do everything. I could not rely on nobody. I had her. She was my rock. When I got home, she had me. Food, felt me, cared for me. But when I went to work, I was a beast. I wasn't worried about nobody else. I was going to be the best.
Yes.
I started in one position, I got to another one and another one. I had to work my way up and it wasn't easy. But I already knew I had to because I wanted something. But then I got lost in it because I started getting relationships and with people. And I started realizing, hey, I'm starting to feel me. I got into me and I forgot about us.
Yeah.
She had me.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel everybody else. Then you get the little scallywags. Oh, we making all this money. Now they pumping into your ego. So now I'm listening to them over her now. Because she just spending my money. So I'm like, I ain't gonna hear all this from you nagging and you spending my money and I got somebody over here trying to get some of my money and looking this way. So I started doing cross-eye. I started playing around. I did the field. And one of the things I can tell you, forget regret, just understand I had to hold myself accountable. When it was all over, I can't blame. I have to start looking at myself and making change.
Yeah.
I don't hate her for realizing the asshole I became. I became it because, again, I got caught up. I started riding in the corporate ladder. I started going on trips. I started going places, company paid. And again, I ain't had these experiences before. But instead of me going back to realize that person that rolled with me, I started riding myself. And then I got caught up being selfish. So when I started listening to her, I heard her nagging. I wasn't listening. So my hearing skills just depleted.
Yeah.
And then my understanding was out the window. And it was just arguments all the time.
So,
and then next came disrespect. And you already know that's close to the end.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, a lot of that could have been resolved if I would have checked my own ego. I'm not blaming her at this point. At one time I did. And this point in my life, I'm not no longer because I became so egotistical that I was choking on my own testicles.
And listen, I think that happens a lot, man. I think that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
No, I don't. That's just nasty.
This is maybe a little beside the subject, but to go out and be in beast mode all day long,
It's no joke.
and then come home and have to be something a little different is a little challenging.
It is, but you gotta remember, she was that person that was there when I went in beast mode in the beginning.
You ain't have
So
nothing.
when she knew I went in beast mode, she always held me down. She let me be a beast. When I came home, I didn't have that wind down. I didn't know about taking that time. I'm mad. I'm mad because I fought all day at work. So she fought with me. Okay? Man, and we was dysfunctional. I see stuff on Facebook. One of the things I can tell y'all, please, put in your personal business, how you take care of your kids, what you do with your kids out there to social media. Because I promise you, what we did behind closed doors, it wouldn't look good, but I'm going to tell you all day long, wasn't no outside affiliation coming in on us. We wasn't calling no outside because we handled us. I can't say the same today because some of the stuff that goes on, I'm heartbroken. And I'm not going to tell you that I agree with everything. But I can tell you we didn't call it because we had that kind of love for each other and we just fought each other and we weren't trying to fight nobody else. But if you came between us when we was going, oh, you going to get it.
Yeah.
Okay? But that was that younger love from high school that I can't say is going to be the same to what I see now on social media. Because I was smart enough back then to put no stuff like that out there, period. We wasn't going to film it, we wasn't going to show it. Bottom line, we had to learn each other. So now I'm more mature and I realize that it's no hands-on, okay? So when I talk to somebody and they even act like they want to play and touch me in a certain kind of way that I feel like you're trying to play towards an aggressiveness that I don't care for, it's going to be addressed. Because if you want to go there, then we don't need to go there. That's not me.
And that kind of lends itself back to the discussion of, maybe throwing it up in my face, right?
Throwing it up and slapping me is two different things. Physical contact is a joke of the choice. My whole thing is watching where everything goes. And again, that's why I said evaluate. I went through that. But I went through that with a person that I was in high school with. I learned this. We grew together. We was together since we was about 16 years old. We was together for 23 years. We was married for 16. There was a lot of time there. We raised kids. We did things. And right now, she's still a friend of mine. And when I say a friend, it took a time that we had to take away from each other because I did hate. Please understand, when I love somebody, I hated her after our divorce. I didn't like what went down. I hated her. And I spoke hate. And then I had to learn where hate came from. Hate came from the love that I really had, that I was just hurt, that I didn't want to look at my own ways, and I just wanted to blame her. And then later on, I realized the blame is because I was ashamed. Okay? And that's when you wake up. When you wake up, you realize half the time you're ashamed of the stuff that you did, and you can't fix it because at that point, you done ruined a relationship that you really didn't even understand when your ass got in, but you thought you was the man.
I told you this show is therapeutic, man. You just pouring your heart out over here, Jay.
I gotta pour out because other people might be going through. And if I don't talk it, everybody else want to walk it off of what they see on TV and what everybody else saying is really up to you.
Yeah, that it reminds me. I was writing again this week, and I wrote a topic on when you know you're wrong. Oh yeah, boy, there's something to be said for that.
Bro, only thing I can tell you is I'm glad I never sat down and been like, I'm gonna tell you all the things I did to you. My whole thing is you need to realize you know what you did. It ain't for you to have to tell everything. Can you make change to what you do? You don't have to justify by hurting another person by telling them all your wrongs. Can you make change? That's the saddest shit that people don't do. You too quick to want to tell the world, but not change.
But they want to change. They
want and do is two different things.
Hold on. The only way you move from wanting to doing is having knowledge and confidence, and they don't have that. You know what I mean? So sometimes
telling don't give you.
Yeah, that's why we need the love, so that it gives us the patience and the understanding and the time to work through some shit. Otherwise you'll be firing people left and right.
Sometimes you need a person like Kraft that can sit down and be like, some things you need to write out.
That voice the reason.
Yeah, that person that can tell you, get a clean sheet of paper, and then we're gonna start doing some other tasks because we want to get your mind back. Because see, you lose yourself when you keep relying on your mind. It's gonna remember most of the most hateful stuff, but it's a lot of stuff that you did that was success. So you get back to your beast mode, understanding that, but then get back to you where you really want to be. It can change some things when you write down some things. Say, I was quick to just do. I'm hyper, okay? But he broke me down. I was like, yo, man, but you also got to have a plan. So a lot of times you ran off your mind and you get off your plan. And that's what happened to me. I got into my head that it's this way, and I got happy because I was seeing some results and I was doing some things. But the things that I really want to be successful with, I was so off task with, being with family, making it to games and doing things. I was off task. I was nowhere near there. But on everything else,
let's talk about that.
Would you saying that real quick? You also have to think about the people that are around you. Like you said, he can calm you down. Yeah. You got to know who do you have around you. If you call one person, they gonna be ready to ride as time. But then you also know you have that person that you call. They're gonna be your voice of reason.
Right.
And you have to be smart enough to know I'm gonna call my voice of reason because I know I need to calm down.
Right.
And that's you checking yourself. And then you have that extra person that's supportive, and they check you as well. And you have to receive that. Everybody can't receive that. They can't.
No.
But you have to be able to listen to what they're saying and not feel like they're attacking you. But you also have to know that they want better for you. They want to see the good in you, and they speaking that into you.
Now, I'll also tell you, when you are led and you are strong-minded, there's a lot of people that feed off you. Now, that is a whole nother scenario that I'm going to tell
very
you.
much so that.
So I had a lot of people that grabbed me and fed off me, and they wasn't helping me at all. And a lot of times I got to get out of my ego to realize what I have. Because everybody shouldn't be taken from you.
Yeah.
It should be a add to, and a lot of times it's just a take.
Well, and let me and let's kind of come real to the heart of this conversation of 50-50. That we need to talk about some solutions. Let's talk about some proactive ways to make 50-50 work.
They don't do it. They don't do relationship. Period. It's just keep dating.
Well, first, I want to throw this word out there, and we can go anywhere you want.
The only thing that's not 50-50 is finances. Everything else needs to be 50-50, so you're right.
Perhaps.
Okay, so
Perhaps.
finances out.
I think
do
that-
everything else but finance.
Yeah.
We
I
just
think
do it. Can you just clean it?
I think there needs to be a plan,
Okay.
right?
Together.
A plan.
Not my plan and your plan.
A plan, right?
I'm just saying.
Your
Sometimes
plan
it's a
in my
plan
tree.
to your plan.
Well,
We need
listen,
us plan.
It's always going to be in my plan and your plan if we don't talk about it.
Right.
You're right. But
And
we need
and
to.
listen, when we start talking about it, everything on both sheets of paper ain't going to get on to the middle.
Of course.
There's going to be some things that left out
determine
there.
what's more important to us both.
Right.
And not just me.
But here's the point of this discussion is that it has to be a discussion.
Mm-hmm. So it
And,
starts
and,
there.
and, and listen, here there's a point of contention that happens when you start this discussion.
Mhm.
Because when you start this discussion, I just put a ring on your finger. You know I love you. You know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I need to know what happened over the last 20 years in your finances. I need to know where you are. I need to know where you are in your credit. I need to know how far in debt you are. I need to know if any police looking for you, you got any records, any warrants.
I need to know.
Right.
Everybody
I
say,
don't want to waste my time. I don't wait to propose to want to know.
You got
I want to know
one.
that
Listen,
before
you
that.
got one.
Assuming it hadn't come out. This
It
is
should have. It should have.
well, no. Listen, now.
I need to know how much
Listen,
did you in
it
before
may-
we even get there.
It may not have come out, right?
Because love might blind you at some point.
There's a
Forget
lot-
that. We need to know that before you get
There's a
there.
lot of people who get married and hadn't had the discussion.
Fool.
There's millions and millions of divorces
And
because
that's
they
what
didn't
And
have the
finance
discussion.
is one of the main
So-
reasons why people get divorced,
So what
which
we're-
is why before you propose, that is, to me, I'm going to be honest with you, credit score
Okay.
and debt
Okay.
is like a first through third date conversation.
Okay.
I'm not wasting, I'm dating for a purpose and I'm not wasting my time with you if you already in debt and you don't plan on getting out of it.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
need to see while we dating you working to get out of that
Now let
debt before you propose.
Now let me
I
ask you
will
this.
not accept.
Okay.
If
This
you
is
ain't
the
trying
same
to
girl
get out
that
of
tried to
debt.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this now. Watch this now.
But you didn't know if I had more where that came from.
I know.
That $2 blinded you.
Watch this.
It showed
Watch
me a
this.
good habit too. I was just like working.
So Jay, how do you deal with the first 3 dates of questions like
I don't.
you don't? Men, I don't think
I got
men
to deal with
do.
it.
Right, that ain't got shit to do with me. Cause I'm like, if like I'm already,
Ask me how much debt I'm in. First of all,
I'm already-
wait a minute. First of all,
I'm already of the notion that
You out for
I got to
that.
take care of this family, regardless of what you do. If I love you and decide to bring you in my life, I got to take care of this family. That's my mindset. So I'm not looking at you wondering if you know, I just want to know the story. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me get 3 years in the row and getting ready to launch this great business and you
see
got
what I'm saying?
$100,000 tax
And
bill.
that is why we got to talk
Right?
about that.
No, but
communication.
I'll decide to marry you
In the
before I know
beginning.
that. I just need you to come clean right then. You know what I'm saying? I just
But
need you to
why are
come.
you? Because here's the thing.
You
Those
see, the man-
finances could make or break this situation. If I wait 3 years for you to finally ask me to come clean, we have
No,
both
I ain't
wasted
talking about
3
no
years
3 years.
of our life.
I'm talking about the ring. You understand what I'm saying? I want to know.
Okay,
Listen,
but
I'm
if the
talking.
ring came 3, 4, 5 years later, and now you like, you know what? I'm not okay with that. Now we have wasted that time when you could have asked these questions in the beginning.
See, you think? Yeah, no. I can ask. See, you can't understand the man's perspective. I really don't care in the midst of this.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take care of you, woman.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
So
all the
that-
questions that you might have of me, you have to ask this for different questions. You gotta ask, does he have a vision? Is he, does he know how to save money? Is he managing himself? Does he have decent credit? Even if he don't have decent credit, does he have the propensity or the capacity or the ability to have decent credit, right? I'm not asking all that about you.
But I'm also
gonna
not
set
saying
you
that
on
if your
fire.
credit is not okay that we cannot date. What I'm saying is, like you said, do you have a vision? Do you have the capacity to fix
But
it?
listen.
Do you have a purpose in what's going on? Why is your person like this? Because you never know. I can help you fix that. However, you have to be willing for me to assist you in that. Yeah, you want to take care of me,
Yeah.
but you also have to remember, people come into relationships like, for example, I use myself. I have a child. Now, my child is not your responsibility. However, if we're doing this together, yes, I do expect you to take on some of that because we are a package. At the same time, I have to make sure that you wanting to take care of us is going to be good for us. So yes, I do want to know these things because guess what? I'm going to be a team player
You
and
have to.
supportive enough to help you in doing so and not make you feel like you're in this by yourself.
Absolutely.
So yes, I do want to know
Yes.
what's your vision, what's your credit score, what plans do you have for
Okay,
your
but watch
life
this.
and those things.
And watch
as
this.
well.
You got your
But watch
$2
this.
back. I ain't gonna get the keys.
But watch this. Watch this. Here's another major point of contention, right? Listen, this is good. This is another major point of contention. No matter what I tell you, you have to find a way to see it for yourself.
And I'm not waiting 3 years to find out either.
Perhaps, right? Perhaps. You're going to throw me away, but you don't know my
And I'm
potential.
gonna see what changes you
Listen,
making as we go on.
Any person who comes into my life right now will not see anything. They might hear it coming out of my verbiage, and they might see it because I do a radio show and I got a job and I got another business on the side. They may start to see some stuff, but if they judge me by what I quote unquote have, they'll miss the mark big time. So you got to be careful about those decisions that you're making. You're trying to throw somebody away who might just need a little guidance. Throw somebody away who might haven't had a reason
And
to
this
make
is
these
why I
quality
asked
decisions.
for your vision. This is why I asked,
But
where
listen.
do you see, questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in even 10 years? I want to know these things as well to see where you, up here,
That's
where you
right.
plan on going.
That's absolutely right.
So
Listen.
now, and you're right, you can tell me anything.
Right.
However, during this process, after I ask you this, I can follow up in a couple of months to see if that's still what you plan on doing.
Right.
And I'm going to ask you because I want to support you and I want to care and be that team player.
Right.
Okay, so here we are.
I hear where
6
you're going
months
with
ago,
that. I hear where
you
you're
told
going
me
with that.
this.
Yeah.
What have you done in the last 6 months to get yourself there?
How about this?
You have not done anything.
I took
We
your
have
ass on
problems.
vacation. I done bought you $35 or $100 meals. You got a new purse. We celebrated your birthday. I got in with your mama and your family, and I was there for the barbecues. I started taking your kids to school. I'm all of a sudden getting up early in the morning, fixing breakfast
And
when
I
I ain't been up
was doing
early in the
all of
morning
that before I
again.
met
So
you.
don't come asking me about vision and passion when I'm pouring in right now. You know what I'm saying?
And I was
Be
doing
careful
all of
with
it
your
myself
question.
before I
Because
met you.
if you ask,
So,
if
just
you-
because you took
Watch
the
this.
step and did it, we a team.
if
but
you
what
don't
about
ask
what
me that
you wanna
question
do?
right, you kill your own opportunity.
No, hold on.
If you don't position that properly, she looking for something.
Now, let me-
She might be a little pushy. Wait a minute, I ain't seen your visions. Let me see what that hair salon that you've been talking about for 30 years.
Well, see what the thing is, I'm going to ask you, and even if you don't ask back, I'm going to volunteer where I plan on going, so you know right then and there for what I'm
That's
telling you as
open
well.
communication. That's beautiful.
What I'm telling you as well, you know whether you want to be on this train or not. Now, if you decide to stick on this train, I'm going to show.
No, if you decide to stick on this train.
And I asked you what
You
have you
going
done
with
the last
me.
6 months, but I'm going to tell you what I've done the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So either it's going to be us on this train together, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
You said you wanted this.
No,
This
if
is
I'm gonna
what
take
have
care of you,
done?
that's if I'm gonna take care of you, then you going with me.
That's a problem.
If I'm gonna take care of you, then you're not going with me.
There you go.
We are going together.
No,
Ain't
no.
no such thing as you.
Let's-
I'm
let's
going
have
with
some-
you.
No.
I'm going
Listen. Here's your vision. Here's your vision of my life. I want you to go to work at 7 a.m. and I want you to get out work at 6 p.m. for the next 25 years and build us a retirement.
That's the problem.
No,
That's
honey,
not
that's
for your
not the
life,
route
and
I'm
our
going.
vision for our life.
That's
the difference.
That's the old man's route. The new man's route is we're gonna get on this paper chase and you're gonna get on it with me. And if you're not gonna get on it with me, then all the discussions is nil and void. Because there you go, you ain't no team player. You trying to get what you trying to get out of
Which is
it.
why I'm
You
letting
holding
you know
me.
your train and we gonna get on the train
You holding-
together. It's our train. It's not in your train. train, one of my trainers.
That's right.
That's right. On
So,
my train.
again,
You can and guess what? That's fine. Your train trains my train. It's the us. Right.
That's right. I
Now,
like
see,
that.
That's
Drive
what
my
I'm trying to
train
make
track.
y'all realize. And she was picking with me
I
earlier.
love it.
She was picking with me earlier. She was flashing $2. I just gave her $5. Because again, she never gave me the 2. Never.
Right.
Just understand, what she show is not what I am. I make more. She can help me and we can make things happen together.
Right.
The whole thing is we're fighting each other. Because you got your point, I got mine. When we making these points together, we can add value. We are destroying each other because we don't trust one another. So I don't know what she's really gonna bring. That's why they
You
have
don't know.
prenups.
You don't know.
That's why people feel certain ways.
That's
That's
why
why
you
she
listen
said.
to what people say. If a person, when they
And
make
what they
statements,
show.
it's always I, me, and not things like that, and not a we and a us, that's a problem. That person is selfish.
That's a
And
problem.
so if you saying me and I'm changing you to us and you still saying me, we have a problem. I
They
need
need
both
to be
of us to
addressed.
be saying we and us, not just one or the other.
It should
But
be we,
It
our,
should
and
be
us.
we
we,
gotta
our,
come in.
us. So just like he said, his train tracks. Okay, that's fine. Your train tracks, my train. So what we gonna do?
Okay, you on
can have
the
trains all
land.
day, but if I got the train, you ain't going nowhere.
It's all right. Y'all
Oh,
gonna
I
get
was
real.
thinking like that.
Y'all
It's
motherfuckers
gonna
gonna get real. Y'all ain't gonna make it to where you're going.
It's gonna be a
I
us.
love
Now,
us.
wait, it's a us.
Us is
Y'all
very
will
hard to
travel
come
together.
by.
We, our, and us. That's the
Right.
only
But
way.
we-
I understand, but
That
I
is.
tell y'all
That
this. I
is.
tell y'all this.
I wanna know how
I'm
my
telling you a story
relationships
that
are
I did not
operating.
know about.
Right.
My mother said before she married my dad,
Mhm.
things were okay. But once they got married, it became I own this. You belong to me. What's
no,
up with
no.
exactly? So
Yeah,
that's
no.
the difference.
Yeah.
When it should have been,
I know.
okay, we in this together.
Yeah.
We are gonna raise these kids.
Right.
We are gonna do this. Not I'm in charge. You just do what I say.
Right.
That's a problem.
Right.
And
That is a
granted,
problem.
she waited till I was grown to tell me this because we never knew the real reason why our parents got divorced.
Right.
But once
told
she
you, though.
explained it, and now that I'm an adult, I understand it in a way of, you know what, you're right, because I would have left, if that happens to me now,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't dealing with that.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
So I appreciate her sharing that
Thank you.
to
Absolutely.
let me know, you know what, that's not the type of man that you want anyway,
Right.
if he's speaking like that to
Right.
you. Now, I was in a situation, and he started that a little early, so I got the hell home. I called him real quick, Mom, come home, I ain't doing this, period.
Right.
And so I get that we have to speak these things even until our children, and we have to be mindful of what they see as well in these situations.
Yes.
Which is why you teach your kids, I, us, we. No, I mean not I, but us and we and our,
Yes.
and not allow them to be selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
really
Listen,
big.
it works in the home, but outside of the home, you got to be
Yeah.
I.
I ain't
You know
gonna
what I mean?
lie.
And
Outside
that's
the
a,
home,
that's
it's
a
not.
tough dichotomy to teach a child, but we have to. Yeah, we have to do more of that. Listen, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I love your spirit. I love your commentary. It's time for us to take another break, and this is our final break. So we're gonna come back, wrap up the show in a big way. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back. More Bar Talk with Jay.
Again, when we get heated and we might talk over each other, please understand, it's not an argument. One of the things we're doing is we're debating, we're having
Yes.
a better understanding, and everybody has their opinion.
Yes.
Now, our opinions are to get you to stimulate your mind to realize where you're at, to have this conversation meaningful to you. We're doing something that I call is pouring it out. I don't know where you at, but I want to reach you to help you, and you don't feel like you're alone.
Right.
All right? A lot of times people ain't going to the churches, they're going more to the bars. No matter where you go, I want to make sure you understand some people are here to pour it out with you, not hate on you.
Right.
I'm not social media, and I don't really want to chime in and give you advice on everything. I'm not even a person that can really do all that. I'm not that. A life coach at the very most. But what I can do is understand and listen to you and give you back what you're telling me in a way that's different than what you told it to me.
Yeah, I would imagine that anybody who's entertaining the love of their life, they're getting ready to get married, they recently got engaged. Hopefully this is opening up some doorways for you. This is causing you to ask some questions that if you get addressed early might save you a lot of pain down the road. It could be the very thing that saves your relationship is having the conversations out front.
Yeah, like don't throw no money on the table because they'll take it. She took my $5. She learned that from her mama.
Yeah. So yeah.
Don't
This
throw
is,
no money.
this has
That's
been.
why I don't go to clubs.
But that's the problem. I don't want to be impressed with your money in the beginning.
Right.
I don't want you to.
You weren't impressed, but you sure took it.
Because I'm taking care. I can take care of myself.
Right.
What else do you have to bring to the table?
Right.
I don't know, because you
Right.
took it. I ain't got nothing else to bring here.
Man, you
Broke. Gotta give a $5 back.
You'll be able to pretty much recognize what they're bringing to the table, and if you pay attention. If you pay attention,
Some people
And-
put on real good.
Right.
they put on real good.
Real good
Listen,
for a real long time.
yeah, and listen, this is one of the things that we know happens
got it.
in relationships
But you know what? I
that
appreciate that.
yeah, in relationships that
I get what I don't have.
you date for a long time, you've been going together for years, you you know 3, 4 years, 6, 8 years, 10 years, you've been together, and all of a sudden you decide to get married. And then you want to start having these discussions.
Too late.
Too late. Those discussions will break up your relationship
Too late. Right.
because the concrete has set, the mold has been placed.
in the first month. I ain't
Yeah.
playing with you.
Yeah.
I give
Too
you
late.
60 days.
I'm trying to tell you.
You better watch you. You want to have a bunch of boyfriends.
Hey, I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not wasting. I'm at a point in my life. Honestly, I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
So when I was 21, 22, I had time to waste. Now I don't. So this is beginning of meeting you conversation.
Okay, listen. And let me tell you what I'm hearing over here. I'm hearing I'm hearing the black woman's voice, the
Yeah.
black woman's attitude,
Right.
and I just want to say to your sister,
What's that?
don't miss an opportunity
Well, you
because
know what?
God's gonna send you something that might not look what you thought it was supposed to look like, but it's so much richer than you ever thought it was. And I just don't want you to miss an opportunity pushing people out the
Well,
door.
see, that's the thing. I'm not saying that I'm pushing you out the door.
It
That's
sounds
not-
like you done threw away a lot of
That's
people.
not what I'm saying.
That
No, and I'm not pushing you out the door. The thing is, what you think may impress me is not what impressed me. You don't have to come in here acting like you have what you don't have. You don't have to come in here
Right.
acting, oh, I want to take care of you. You know what? I can take care of myself. What else do you have?
Right, but listen.
Let's talk about the longevity.
hold on,
Like, let's
hold
not
on.
focus on you taking care of me because the day
Hold
that
on.
you can't,
Hold on.
now we got a problem.
No. Here's the problem. The
So-
problem is that you didn't
All that
recognize.
damn money you said.
The problem is that you didn't recognize the man said to you, I want to take care of you.
And I understand
You-
that.
that just
But
went
you
over your
wanna
head.
take-
You-
Okay, so have another
If
opinion
a
because you
man-
want to take care of me and I want to take care of us.
Okay, that's
Stop
fine.
playing.
But you're talking about somebody, no matter, he might not know how to say it, but he's trying to pour it out, and you done
He
slapped
better
him across
pour
the
it out.
forehead. You know what I'm
better
saying?
pour it out there because
That's
while
a
he
problem.
over here pretending that his money gonna impress
y'all,
me.
That's a problem.
Well, you worried about you
I-
doing something for me and I get that, thank
it's-
you.
it's
But I'm
not
worried
the-
about us.
It's not that he
I just be
pretending.
wanting to get some.
But you know what though? Say that.
That's what I'm
That's the
talking
biggest
about.
problem.
I say it
You
all
want
the
to
time.
wind it down like you want to do
I
something
don't
else.
know. I
And
don't
if
know
all
wind
you
it
want
down.
is to get some, say that.
That's
So
all
we
I
ain't
want.
never gotta go eat first.
That's what I'm
And you
saying.
can take care of
We
me.
can
If you say that, okay? Say that.
Thank you,
Why
Lord.
we wasting our time eating
Hold
this
on.
$100 bill you eating?
And I
Just
can be.
say what it is.
Watch this. Watch this. That sounds so nice.
It's your.
But ain't nobody saying shit. That's why there's so many damaged relationships. Do you know that half of the people who are married get
And you know
divorced
what?
and the other half are unhappy?
That is true. The
Okay, well,
you
look, stop
wake
talking about
up,
all that
see, one
saying.
day you wake up and you realize that you do not have time to waste, and you realize that in the beginning I'm going to tell you what it is, and I'm looking for what it is that I want, and I have no time to play with you. So here's the deal: we on our first couple of days. Listen, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. You want in or out. So if you're in, that's
Out.
fine because it's gonna be us.
You can't put me in.
You want out,
Because I don't know you, nigga. I don't know you.
and that's perfectly fine. That's okay.
Don't you understand? You're missing the opportunity for building a
It
relationship.
worked real for me.
Building a relationship
I'm
is
gonna tell you
a
all I want is sex. I ain't
Hey.
got nothing else.
building a relationship is a stairwell, and you got to step up to the next step. And you might not have enough energy. You might be tired, but you know what? You're gonna step, and you're gonna work a little hard, and you're gonna keep stepping. You're not just gonna throw
And
me
I'm gonna make it feel
away,
good.
asking me a blanket closed question. You know what I'm saying? I'm in sales. And if the customer come to me and I be like, listen, you buying a car today, you got money down, you got decent credit, No, you can't do that because you never know what can happen. So many doors can open if you just will allow the customer to just share with you their needs and then act like you care for a little while enough to discern the needs, right? Because you're not perfect. And so you're going away somebody knowing that you got an empty spot in your category, knowing that you got a box unchecked. So now you got to say, hey, wait a minute, let me give up a little bit just to see if we can make something happen here, right?
It's not gonna be perfect.
Right?
You're not gonna get every check on your face.
Listen, and this guy is pouring into you. He's trying to impress you. I don't care how you look at it. He's trying to.
You're
He's
trying to impress me with unrealistic.
If he's just trying to get in your drawers, that's
a
one
meal
thing.
is not going to impress me.
hold on.
I can feed
Hold on.
myself.
Hold on.
But some good
See,
can make you feel good. I'm just saying. Your $100 bill ain't gonna be nothing compared to put that wood
Working.
what it
first
was.
of all, the meal ain't what is to impress. It's me.
This feel like church. I got a testimony.
Damn.
Let me get my
Ask William.
testimony. Can I
You better pass on the
Like,
lesson.
hold on.
Forget the meal, it's me. But if you don't appreciate me, at least appreciate the meal. Damn, but hold on. Everybody got macaroni and cheese in their cupboard. You got right?
So what's up?
Yeah, I
So
know.
forget this meal. We gonna put money together, go out of town.
I
Or
know.
we gonna do something
But
else.
listen, but
The
you ain't.
meal ain't impressive
Is
no
we
more.
talking
But listen,
stove
you should have said all that. You should have said all that before I took you to eat.
But I
But listen,
was
I don't need you to
and I
feed
probably
me. I'll
did.
feed myself.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, I tell you what. You go home and eat. I'll go eat, and let's meet back up at 10:30 and get it down.
Okay.
If you're clear up front with that, that ain't no
No,
problem.
that would have been your
'Cause I
mouth
can-
that got you in trouble.
No, it didn't. Mom done got
I myself, so I ate what I wanted to
Oh,
eat.
that would have been
And
just
now we both finna get what
Hey,
we want.
somebody gotta back the underdog.
Nah.
Somebody gotta back the underdog. I said somebody
Give my
gotta
damn
back the
$5
underdog.
back. Hell, get my money back. But I like this.
I like this too.
I like this.
I like this too.
And one of the
It's
things I
good.
want to say is,
It's
man,
good.
it's not on the negative note, and it's not about pushing the negativity. One of the things we want to make sure we do is bring you back to the forefront of realizing sex is very powerful and having an understanding of what you really want in front of you. I can't say where you at, and I'm not going to talk for you because I am single, and I'm a person that's going to be real. I look at marriage as a sanctity that I loved, okay? I did not
ED.
honor
Loved it.
correctly.
Right.
I did not.
Did
But my
not.
whole thing is learning that I'm not going to push away from it and talk anybody away from it. I have a clear understanding what the hell that covenant is. I didn't. That doesn't mean you won't. So what I'm going to say is speak words of encouragement to make you stronger, to go into it in a positive way. Where if you going to play outside. Stay in a dating realm and don't enter a monogamous relationship with dating tactics thinking that it might lead to something, because again, it's going to be a misled. And that's what happens when you play a lot of games. And that's what's going on today. Everybody's trying to figure out how you coming. Like she said, I got a script for you behind, because she already been through some things. Just remember, everybody's not the same. And give people a fairness. And I don't feel like that's happening. We're stopping caring. Caring is not happening. But I want us to get back to caring, because caring is a part of love.
Yeah.
You cannot love without caring. And truthfully, it's kind of hard to love you and I don't really know you or got a sense of care. And that's what we got away from. So again, it's not saying it's just about sex. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But don't act like it's not when it's happening all the time. And then we're going to act like marriage is the win or be all and they're not lasting. So I want to make sure we have a better conversation than what the hell I'm hearing in social media, because it's starting to look real bad for everybody because they're not having a better understanding.
Yes.
So if you want to play, don't enter a monogamous relationship keeping that same mentality. Things have to be offset. That's just me.
Yeah, and I think that's a major point to make. When you move into a relationship, things are gonna change. And unfortunately, some of your closed boxes are gonna be opened, whether you want them to or not. Oftentimes, it's gonna be more about what you show them than about what you tell them. And 50-50 is a double-edged sword. And I'm attempting to close out the show here. We only got about 4 or 5 minutes left. It's a double-edged sword, and it really requires that you pay attention early in the game, right? If you catch it early and you don't say nothing and you end up living with it, that's your own burden to bear.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that because you saw it and you didn't have the confidence or willingness to say nothing that you can't bring it up 10 years, 20 years later.
Ooh.
Sometimes the shit just got to be brought up and you got to get to the bottom line. And things change. Things change. You think about the needs of a family. The family is going to have 15, 18, 20 years of raising a child, and now the children are no longer there. Your needs change, and now you're going to address the shit. Now you say, hey, well, listen, now you've been screwing off doing that. I really need us to do this. I need us to do this. I need to find a way to reel that thing in that's bothering me or concerning me. Discussion is the key to the whole equation. Communication and talking out things. Regardless of what you say, the truth is going to come out. And who you are going to come out. Your intentions are going to come out. Whether you have vision or not is going to come out. Whether you manage money well is going to come out. Whether you have bad credit or lots of debt. Whether you've thrown a lot of people away because they meet your expectations. It's all going to come out at some point. But the key here to the equation is you got to figure out what works for you and what you want. This young lady right here is very definitive about what she expects in a relationship. And I would imagine for her to meet Mr. Right, it's going to have to be a divine...
I'm getting married next year.
Right?
I'm getting married next year.
Okay.
Already got it.
Shut your mouth.
I wish I would have known.
Give my $5.
He needed to be sitting here tonight.
No, he didn't. I want my $5.
Yeah.
It's a
Listen,
shit.
congratulations.
It's a shit.
It's a she.
I still want my money.
Oh,
my last
hey,
seat.
I'm gonna get out of her or you.
You
One
done-
of y'all will get my
You
money.
done changed the game on us a little bit, huh? Okay.
She gained it on you.
I won't touch that. That's good. Congratulations. How would you close out your last minute or so commentary on 50-50 relationships?
The biggest thing about 50-50 is making sure that you are able to be accountable for your own action. And that you're able to hold your partner accountable as well. And like you said, communication, that's going to be the biggest piece of it all. If you don't communicate, you're going to run through those issues. That's like the biggest piece of everything.
Yeah.
So in order to be 50-50, 70-30, no matter what it is, you have to communicate to know where you are with that person. That way it's communicated, it's talked about, and you know what y'all expect of each other, period. No matter what your number is, 50-50 or not, that's every aspect.
Yeah. And if you decide that you are not going to just be throwing people away, that issue, that conversation, you're going to have it in 20 different times in 20 different ways because you're fighting to keep the relationship and to make it work.
And you fight for those that are worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I say throw people away at the same time. What I mean by that is washing my hands. I know where to put you at. It's like when they say
Right.
you know when to feed someone from a long time to spoon.
Right.
So I may not have thrown you away to where I don't talk to you at all.
Right.
However, I know when and how to deal with you.
Yes.
Because of what we've already experienced.
Yes. And listen, I think
That's
to
profound.
much degree, every single person that you have a relationship with, you got to be managing and measuring that scale.
And
Every
you have
single
to
person.
protect your
you know?
peace at all costs.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what they want for you is not what you want for you.
That's correct.
And sometimes we just got to stand on our principle.
I
I think that we have done a fabulous job tonight of talking this discussion. I'm hoping that it has benefited somebody in our audience. For those of you who are live with us tonight, thank you so much for being here with us. We feel your energy, and I'm sure there was a lot of commentary there. I don't have the live screen, so I don't have your names on tonight.
do
But
apologize for
yeah,
that.
we appreciate you in every way for being a part of our show. And continue to share us, like us, subscribe, share us, like us, subscribe, and tell everybody you know about the positive message that's coming out of Bar Talk with Jay. And any closing words from you, Jay?
One of the things I want to say is make sure that y'all drop us what y'all topic is. That's one of the things that the topic came from today. She gave it. That's why I invited her.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I want to do is I want to bridge the gap.
Yes.
I don't want it to be just about me and craft. We have a special thing that we want to do later on to get your mentalness in another way. But I want to know what's the problem. Pouring it out means we have issues, and I don't feel like they're being addressed.
So again, attacking somebody and helping somebody is not the positive way. But if we have a better way of formulating a way to reach each other and care for each other, that's what I want to formulate.
There you go.
That's why we're doing this way compared to what I've been seeing. Let's do something different for a better result.
There you
Because
go.
I can't do the same and expect something different.
Mhm.
That's insanity.
and
And that ain't what I want.
That ain't what I want. So thank you, folks, for being here tonight with Bar Talk with Jay. And with that, folks, we love you, we appreciate you, and we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.